Hi, I'm Matty Loans, a mortgage pro with 20 plus years in the game and a real knack for helping self employeds turn complex income into home loan approvals. Your business may not fit into a box, and neither should your mortgage. These are my top 10 reasons why I love helping entrepreneurs just like you. Ready? Let's dive in. No two files are exactly the same. Perhaps the top reason I love self employeds is that no two files are ever the same. Every entrepreneur has a unique income structure, and I love solving the puzzle. Likewise, every entrepreneur has a unique income story. Maybe they're a real estate agent with commissions that are irregular. Maybe they own an LLC with income that doesn't show up on a W 2. Or maybe they're creative with multiple 1099s, freelance invoices, and project based payments. I've seen it all, and I thrive on the challenge. Most lenders want a clean, cookie cutter application. But if you're self employed, your finances are anything but cookie cutter. That's where I come in. I take all those bank statements, the tax returns, W 2s, K 1s, profit and loss, and balance sheets and put the puzzle together. I know what underwriters look for. I know how to explain your income in a way that makes sense because I understand your business. You shouldn't be penalized because your income doesn't fit into a perfect little box. You took a different path, one with more risk, one with more reward, and a whole lot of spreadsheets. I get it, and I've built my business around making sure you can still get the best possible mortgage. So, if you're a business owner, freelancer, or part of the gig economy and you've been told no because your income's too complex, don't give up. You just need someone who knows how to read between the lines. Drop a comment if this is you, or if you've ever felt misunderstood by a lender and you're ready to talk about it and how we can make your mortgage work. Let's connect. It's where guidelines meet creativity. Another reason to enjoy self employeds, it's where guidelines meet creativity. Helping somebody qualify isn't just about ticking the boxes, it's about understanding the story behind the numbers. And that's what I love about working with self employeds. You get to help somebody qualify for a mortgage that's not about checking the boxes or matching numbers to a checklist. It's about understanding you and the story behind those numbers. When you think about it, you could have two business owners that both make six figures, but one tax return could look completely different from the next. One reinvests heavily in their company and writes everything off. The other pays themselves on a W 2 from an S Corp. Same income bracket, totally different mortgage profile. And that's where the art comes in. Lenders have rules, of course, and for good reason. There are guidelines from Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, the FHA, VA, and portfolio investors. But within those guidelines, there is flexibility. You just need to know where to look. That's where I come in. I ask deeper questions. How's the business structured? What's been consistent over the past couple of years? Are there any add backs we can use from your Schedule L? Any depreciation? Is there a paper trail for that seasonal income? A good loan officer checks boxes. A great one connects the dots. And I love finding ways to present your income that actually reflects your financial reality, not just the adjusted gross income at the bottom of the line after your accountants work their magic. That's why I partner closely with CPAs to review tax returns, dig deeper, and speak their language. Now, at the end of the day, underwriting isn't about penalizing you for being a business owner. It's about providing you a safe, reliable file. But that takes strategy. So if you're tired of getting generic answers or being misunderstood by lenders, this is your reminder. Guidelines matter, but creativity gets the deal done. I admire the hustle. Another great reason to love self employeds, I love the hustle. Self employed clients are builders, dreamers, risk takers, and I respect that energy. I admire the hustle because the hustle takes muscle. There's something different about working with self employed clients. They're not just trying to buy a house, they're building a life in a business at the same time. And that's the kind of ambition I admire. And I respect it deeply. They can be builders, dreamers, risk takers, entrepreneurs. They're people that have stepped away from a steady paycheck to chase something much bigger. Maybe they've opened a small bakery. Maybe they flipped their first house. Maybe they've launched the side hustle and turned that into a six-figure brand. No matter what the business is, the grit is always there. When I talk to a self employed client, I'm not just reviewing numbers, I'm understanding their story, their late nights, their near misses, the years they didn't take a salary just to keep the lights on. These people have poured themselves into something that doesn't come with a manual or a guaranteed outcome. And now they want a home that reflects their journey. My job isn't to judge that story by how clean the tax returns look. That's easy, way too easy. The better part is to understand the context and then get creative to find a loan solution that works. Because the truth of the matter is, entrepreneurs don't fit neatly into a box, and neither do their mortgages. And let me say this, I see you. You've navigated the unpredictable income, built something from scratch, and still made time to chase your homeownership goals. That energy is contagious, it's inspiring, and that's exactly why I specialize in working with self employed clients. So if you're a business owner and you're worried your lender won't get it, don't worry. I get it, and I will. Let's turn that hustle into a set of house keys. They've already been told no. This one's my personal favorite. I love working with self employeds because they've usually been told no before. And I love being that yes after everybody says it couldn't get done. And honestly, is there any better reason to appreciate self employed clients? Maybe that other lender didn't understand their income. Maybe they had analysis paralysis on a couple write offs on their Schedule L and their numbers shook out low. Or maybe somebody just told them, you don't qualify, come back in 2 years. The truth of it is, a lot of people in this industry look at a file and stop after reading page one of the tax return. Or maybe they see non traditional income and they throw up their hands. They don't dig deeper. They don't ask the tough questions. They just say no and they move on. And who can blame them? You can't get fired for saying no. But that's where I come in. I love being the yes after someone else gives up because I know that with the right strategy, the right documents, and the right understanding of the guidelines, there's always a way to get it done. It might take a little more effort, one more letter of explanation. Maybe we need further support from the CPA, or simply to work directly with the underwriter on how your business actually operates. That's the work I live for because that work challenges me. And I've helped clients who were told they had to wait. I've helped business owners qualify based on real income, not just what was on the tax returns. And I've seen the look on someone else's face when they realize that, yes, buying a home isn't just a dream, it's happening. There's nothing more satisfying than turning a rejection into an approval, not because it's just a win, but because it restores belief. It reminds people that their hard work matters. So if you've been told no, just appreciate this. No may be their answer, but that may not be the final answer. Let's find your yes. They make you sharper. And really, who can ever punish you for somebody that challenges you to be sharper? Complex income equals next level underwriting skills. It keeps me at the top of my game. They challenge me to be sharper, and that's what I love about self-employed clients. This pushes me to go deeper, think more critically, stay razor sharp on evolving underwriting guidelines. While some loan officers are just plugging numbers into software, I'm flipping through Schedule Cs, identifying add backs, cross-referencing bank statements, and building the story on how to say yes to the underwriter. I've spent years studying the guidelines, but this is where theory meets practice. Self-employed borrowers demand next level strategy, and I appreciate that. Every file is like solving a financial riddle. The reward? Delivering a loan approval that someone else said was impossible. This isn't the easy button lending. It's real skill, real analysis, and has a real impact. And honestly, that's why I'm still fired up to do what I do every day after 20 plus years. So if you're a business owner who's been passed over because your file's too complicated, know this. You're not a problem to solve. You're a challenge I welcome because working with self employed clients doesn't just make me a better loan officer, it makes me a sharper one.
I speak fluent profit and loss, K1, in Schedule C.
And what's not to love when you speak fluent profit and loss, K1, 1041, Schedule C, Schedule L, you name it. But most lenders flinch when they see these. Me, I lean in, and trust me, that's not a common language in this industry. Most loan officers see these forms and they panic. They're used to clean cut W 2s and pay stubs and borrowers that fit inside a nice, neat little box. But when that borrower walks in with multiple businesses, variable income, in 2-inch thick tax returns, what do? They usually head for the hills. But that's where I lean in. I know what to look for on a Schedule C. Likewise on a Schedule L. I know how to spot legitimate add backs beyond depreciation. I understand the story behind the K1s, the contributions, the distributions, the guaranteed payments, how to interpret the income, and how it makes sense beyond the Schedule C and the Schedule E. It's not just data, this is somebody's livelihood. And reading it accurately can be all the difference between a decline and a dream home. Business owners often get penalized because their income doesn't follow traditional norms. But when you can read the language of entrepreneurship, you realize their income's real, it's stable, it's strong. It just needs to be presented in the right way. And that's where the expertise comes in. I translate complicated documents into underwriter ready files. I build narratives that make sense to the decision makers. I fight for loan approvals not based on logic, not just formulas. If you're self employed and you've been ever told, sorry, your income's too complicated, I've got great news. You don't need a different job, you just need a loan officer that speaks your language. Drop a comment if this resonates with you, or if you've ever handed in tax returns to a lender and watched the color on their face drain. I've seen it, I've fixed it, and I'd love to help you next. Because I know what it's like to bet on yourself. I love self employeds because I know what it's like to bet on yourself. Many of my clients have built something from nothing. That journey deserves a home. To walk away from security and to take that leap, to build something from scratch with no safety net, just grit, belief, and determination to figure it out. That's why I connect so deeply with my self employed clients. They're the ones who turned a side hustle into an enterprise, who stayed up late managing invoices and woke up early to do it all over again. They've missed paychecks to make payroll. They've worn every hat, from CEO to janitor, and have never stopped pushing forward. Builders, dreamers, doers. That journey, it's different. It's not just about income, it's about sacrifice. It's about commitment. And it's about choosing the harder road and making it work when no one guaranteed it would. So, when it comes time to buy a home, I believe that journey deserves a home. Not just a house, but a place that reflects everything they've worked for. A front door they've earned, a kitchen where their family can sit down and breathe. And I get it. Mortgage guidelines weren't built with entrepreneurs in mind. But again, that's where I come in. I've built my career around helping people like you, people who don't have a W 2, but have a profitable business, people who don't have perfect paperwork or organization, but do have consistent income, dedication, and documentation. I know what it's like to build something from zero. That's why I fight so hard to help you protect what you've built by turning it into a home. It's my turn to educate. I love self employeds because I get to educate. Many self employed clients don't know what they can qualify for, and empowering them is a huge win. A lot of self employed folks don't even know that they can qualify for any mortgage. They assume they make too little on paper. They've heard horror stories from other business owners. Or worse, they've already been told no by someone who didn't take the time to understand how their income works. But the truth is, you can qualify. You just need somebody who can explain how, in plain English. That's where I come in. I don't just submit a file and hope for the best. I walk my clients through the why behind every step. That why and write-offs matter, how adjusted gross income affects numbers, what counts as acceptable documentation, and most importantly, how can we position your income to get it fully approved and at the very best terms. I believe knowledge is power, and when a self-employed client learns how the system actually works, you can see them shift. They go from being hesitant and unsure to confident and motivated. I can't tell you how many times I've heard, wait, I can actually buy this home? Yes, it's possible if you work with somebody that knows the rules and is willing to teach you how to play the game. Helping someone go from, I didn't think that this was possible, to now I'm closing next week, that's a huge win, not just for me, but for every client who wanted to reach out for the dream home. So if you've been sitting on the sidelines because you're self-employed and you're a little confused about the process, this is your opportunity. Let's talk. Let's educate. Let's get you a home. They value relationships. I love working with self-employeds because they value relationships. Self-employed borrowers often refer others because they know the value of a trusted pro. They value relationships, and that's one of my favorite reasons for working with self-employed borrowers. See, when you're self-employed, your business is your reputation, and you don't get referrals by accident. You earn them. You build your brand on trust, consistency, in delivering results. And because of that, entrepreneurs know it. They know the value of having a pro in their corner, someone who actually shows up, communicates clearly, and fights for the ideal outcome. They're not looking for a transactional lender. They're looking for a partnership. Someone they can text with a quick question. Someone who can jump on a call with their CPA. Someone who isn't just there for the deal, but is there for the one thereafter and after that. And here's what I found. When you show up for a self-employed borrower, they don't just say thank you. They refer their friends, their colleagues, their family members, their vendors. Why? Because they know how rare it is to find somebody who truly understands their financial world. The payoff is personal. Yes, I love helping self-employeds because the payoff's personal. Handing the keys to a business owner isn't just closing a loan. It's helping somebody live the life they've built. Now for me, handing the keys to a business owner isn't just about closing the loan. It's about helping somebody step into the life they've spent years building. Think about it. When you're self-employed, nothing comes easy. You fought for every dollar. You've weathered seasons of uncertainty. You've invested in yourself when nobody else would. You've skipped vacations. You've reinvested profits. You've built something out of nothing. And now, you're finally turning that work into something real. Not a business milestone, not a sales goal, but a home, a place to rest, to breathe, to create memories, a special place that reflects everything you've poured your heart and soul into.